श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम्। श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम्। नवकंज लोचन कंज मुख कर कंज पद कंजारुणम्। कंदर्प गणित अमित छवि नव नील नीरद सुंदरम्। पटपीत मानहु तडित रुचि शुचि नौमि जनक सुतावरम्। श्री राम 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 सिया राम। श्री राम 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 सिया राम। श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम्। श्री रामचंद्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भय दारुणम्। नवकंज लोचन कंज मुख कर कंज पद कंजारुणम्। कंदर्प गणित अमित छवि नव नील नीरद सुंदरम्। पटपीत मानहु तडित रुचि शुचि नौमि जनक सुतावरम्। श्री राम 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 सिया राम। श्री राम 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 सिया राम।
Okay, I'm audible to everyone? Good.
Ram Ram, brother.
Ram Ram.
Father, uh, what does it mean, Father, when you say that turning to God with love and turning moment to moment?
Yes.
Because when I try to do it, turning itself feels so difficult. I am nobody to say that I am able to turn to God with love, and you said that turning to God without turning to God with love, it's like a lip service. So
no, I said that it's possible. I say all kinds of nonsense, but I doubt I would have said it in that way. I must have tried to convey. I could have been silly in my expression, but must have tried to convey that to just have a lip service, talk about being spiritual or turning to God without actually coming, like talk spirituality without being with spirit. You see? So it often happens in spiritual circles that we are talking spirituality with no reliance on the presence of the spirit within to move our expression, to move our words. So that is one aspect of it. Let me give a bit of context to everyone, and then we'll get to your question. So I was just sharing that we have such a unique device which is available to us, you see, which no amount of money, which no amount of technical progress, which no amount of any worldly thing can buy for us ever again, which is our Antakarna, our soul. It is a pristine, priceless device, let's call it device for the moment. Why is it pristine and priceless? Because within it God can dwell, or God dwells actually. You see? And within God it dwells. You see? So our intellect may not understand that, but this device, this technology, this possibility, this potential, nothing can ever provide for us, no matter what we do in return in a worldly way. We can never get a system where God can dwell, where God is dwelling. You see? To use this bucket, which is the dwelling place of the Lord Himself, to use it constantly and only for egotism and selfishness, is to use the bowl of Amrit, which is priceless, to use it for, let me find an example, to use it for cleaning our dishes in the kitchen, to keep the soap for cleaning our dishes. So that is what we have been given, and the contrast between what we have been given and what we are using it for. You see? Now, suppose that it was a question of just information. So now you have been informed of the the features of what you have. So you should then be able to just switch over and just make it about God all the time. You see? But in the design of this play, that is called the phenomenal play, it is designed in a way that the script, the construct is meant to keep me again and again in the forefront. You see? And many times the me can be the spiritual me itself. You see? As the hero of the narrative, the central protagonist of the narrative can be any resonant form of the me which is resonating with us at the moment. You see? So this is designed to trick us into using our soul, using our Antakarna as something obsessively immersed in the me, rather than becoming a holy temple of God. See? And whatever you immerse it in is going to rule your life in that way, and is also contagious in this phenomenal play. So a temple of God, a living temple of God, is contagious because it can spread the light and create 100 temples around it. You see? But one who is immersed in egotism can create philosophies and stories and things which can create spread a lot of egotism, and many times spread a lot of egotism even in the guise of helping, even in the guise of spirituality at times. You see? That is why, remember, if spirituality is nothing to do with spirit, then it is not spirituality. If it has nothing to do with Atma, then it is not spirituality. Yeah. So a lot of egotism is prevalent under various helpful sounding guises as well. Yeah. So a simple way of understanding what I'm saying is that let's presume that every event in our life comes only through the will of God. See? Every event, every moment that we are encountering, every outside event that we encountering, every moment is coming only to us by the will of God alone. Yeah? Now, for a moment, let's presume that I can meet this moment to go to my mind and create a narrative about it, and therefore create my ego in the center, or I can use every moment to turn towards the presence of God within my heart. You see? That choice to love God, I will debate with you about free will and God's will about this. We will have a debate. It's nothing to debate actually, but for a moment just bear with me. So let's say that I have this choice, I have this agency moment to moment to pick God over me, pick God over ego. Every moment I have been given this capacity. I don't even want to call it a choice, and let's call it a capacity. You see? Now, whether this happens also within God's will, of course it does, but don't confuse yourself. It's okay. You see, you have the agency, you have the volition, you have the capacity to turn to God every moment, and every moment of phenomenal experience that you're having is coming to you only through God's will. See? So I'm going to be very simplistic at the start of satsang, because often I'm accused of being very academic and not understandable. So I'm going to be very simplistic at the start of satsang at least, and if I'm going too far off, then please stop me. So consider that every moment that you spend turning towards God's light in your heart becomes a brick in your temple of the heart, temple of God. You see? And every moment that you turn towards me, one brick is demolished from the temple. You see? So our spiritual life is the temple of God construction business. Yeah? So our business, our design, our highest design, our highest purpose is for our life to become a temple of God. And our life can become a temple of God if we use every moment to turn to Him. And remember, we said that Swami Ram Sukhdaji said, I heard it from him first, that God is the only one, quote unquote, thing that we can get just by turning to Him. For everything else, we have to take some action. We have to go and buy, we have to exchange some money, or at least we have to do tap, tap, tap on our phone to order some food. So, for everything else, something is needed. God is the only one that can be found, that can be met, that can be gotten by turning towards Him, can be received by turning towards Him. Now, to continue in the vein of simplicity, what would it mean to turn on steroids? Like, wouldn't we all wish that we could not just turn, add one brick, but add one slab in every turning? We would all wish that, no? It's an instant world. So what would that mean? So that would mean that the more of myself that I offer to Him in that moment of turning, the deeper the foundation of this temple becomes, the higher the walls become. So if I offer that which is the most pristine in my heart, if I offer that love, and that turning is a turning in love, and my heart, the very heart is offered to Him, that my heart belongs only to You, my Lord, then that is a very beautiful way to construct this holy temple in our heart. But if our spirituality becomes about the me itself, and although our words may sound fancy and they may sound like they are very high spirituality, but if the words don't have the presence of spirit, don't have the fragrance of spirit, don't have the origin as the spirit itself, then it is never spirituality. It is never spirituality. So, because the presence of God that dwells in us is called the spirit itself, is called the Atma. Now remember that when the invitation comes to turn towards the me instead of God, you see, does it seem like that invitation is righteous or wrong? You see, that invitation always seems righteous. Arjuna said, "What are you saying, my Lord? What are you saying? You want me to shoot arrows at my gurus? At my very family? At those who I've grown up with? Who I call my brothers and relatives? What are you saying? How can that be right? And what am I doing this for? For a kingdom? For a kingdom you want me to kill all my beloveds?" He makes a very rational argument. It's very rational. You see? His rationality could be on point. His feelings could be full of compassion, grief. Of course, they were driven by a lot of me at the center of it. We can get to that later. But the main point is that anybody looking at it as in a rational way, or even from a space of feeling, would not question Arjun for his doubt. You see? So, if you were to look at it purely moralistically, rationality wise, he is saying, "I'll give up everything, I will become a beggar on the streets. Why do I need to fight and kill for a kingdom?" You see? So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because when we encounter Maya in our lives, Maya is not going to seem wrong to you. See? Maya is going to seem right to you. The narrative is going to seem true to you. You see? And yet, even in that, to turn to God within, that is the key. As rational as our mind may be being, or at least sounding to us, you see, as compelling as our feelings may be, all of us always have the potential to turn to God within. So the very construct of the word which signifies spiritual practice, the Sanskrit word or the Hindi word that signifies it is tapasya. Why is it a tapasya? Tapasya means there is a heat in that. Like you have to encounter the burning, you have to encounter the heat, and in that encountering of the heat and still staying steadfast in God, then that is what is called a spiritual practice, a tapasya, a practice. So when your mind has the most rational argument to keep the focus on the me, when our feelings are all contracting and saying, no, we need relief by helping this me, you see, to encounter that heat and to still remain in that heat and stay in God's presence, you see, that is our spiritual practice. So the idea is not to wait for the hottest moments and then say, now I will practice. You see, the idea is to get used to the heat because in every moment the mind can find something to keep the focus on the me. So every moment is suitable for practice. You see, we practice staying in God's light, staying in God's presence, staying with God's name, staying in the self-inquiry, while the mind is tempting us to get into the narrative of the me. Because Maya is unsuccessful without creating reality for the notion of the me. It is unsuccessful because Maya is Maya, it is that the me comes. So it is not successful unless it is added something to the narrative of the me. So when we are getting into these hot situations, then remember that we have to withstand the heat, and the sages have told us that it is in withstanding of this heat that our vasanas, our conditions, which are the grooves which take us to the me again and again, are broken, are cut. We are left free to remain with God. So I hope all of us are realizing that it is not necessarily a feel-good process. You see, at least in that moment when we are encountering the heat of what Maya is throwing at us, it may not be a feel-good process. And the idea of spirituality is not to escape contractive feelings, difficult feelings, not to escape them, but to meet them, to come face to face with them, not to push them under the carpet. You see? And that is how they are transcended, because everything in Maya has limitation. You see? Only God is unlimited. So its potential to use that topic of the narrative is not unlimited. It seems to get more and more activated over and over again every time we supply it with belief. But if you just stand back, you see, go through that, stand back, then it will run out of power very quickly based on how much it has been nurtured in the past. And what are the topics of the narrative? Relationships. Number one for 99% of us, relationships. So bring your attention to the narrative of your relationships and just hand over the entire thing to God's light. I will not attempt to get into any story about any special relationship that I have. Am I saying that we will become renunciates and go to the hills? No, I am not saying that. I am saying we will not get involved with any narrative of any relationship that I have. I will trust God, God's light, God's will to move this body mind as it has to move, but I am not interested. Second topic, money, money, security, let's say, money. So that which is valuable, money cannot buy. This life, money cannot buy. This Antakarna, money cannot buy. Anything that is valuable, love, money can't buy. Peace, money can't buy. You see? It promises all of these things. It delivers none of these things. You see? So I am not Again, I'm not saying we must have money or not have money. I'm only saying that we must not chase money, because that money that we are chasing is not something that will deliver what it is promising. Some of the richest people can also be the most insecure. So if you're chasing security, it is not going to come from money. There is no greater security in this world than holding on to God's feet. To be in His holy embrace is the greatest security that we have in this world. No other security can match that. So what we are chasing through having money is available only through God's presence. Third, body and again, I'm not saying that we must not take care of this body. We can take care of the body whatever it needs. It's a beautiful instrument, again priceless, beautiful instrument. We can give it the minimum that it needs to function well, to keep oiling the gears of this car. Provide it enough attention in that way, but we are not too obsessed about how good it looks, how bad it looks, or what it means in the world, and all of these rubbish topics which are again pointless, because no matter how good it looks today, it is not going to be tomorrow. No matter what we do to it, it is heading to one of two places, which is under the ground or on the pyre, no matter what we do. So it only deserves that much value, that it is a beautiful instrument, that is God's gift to us. It must be taken care of, whatever little, but when we attach identity to it, that I am this body, that is like saying I am my Honda. No? That I am my Honda. That is not, that is, some people are that attached to their cars also, but we must stay away from this kind of identification with this instrument. It's a pristine instrument. It can be taken care of, but we are not to identify it to mean something for me. Somebody gives this body a compliment, or somebody says something derisive about this body, doesn't mean that they are talking about you. You see? So we are neither to get into pride or unworthiness about this body. It is not you. It is a beautiful instrument that you have. And don't let any narratives about the body take you away from God's light, from God's presence.
Can it not also be about the same with the mind? That you feel like somebody praises so intelligent or so
Yeah, we're coming to that in the fourth one. What is the fourth?
knowledge.
Yeah. Purpose, meaning finding conceptual ideas of that which is beyond concept. And getting into pride because of how much we know, what we think we know. Pride because I know more than others. Taking yourself to be superior or inferior based on what is stuffed in your head is again a fallacy. So in the same way that we are not to take ourselves to be the body, in the same way we do not take ourselves to be the mind also. Just aspects, sheaths as they are called, of our existence. They are treated like that, but not at the cost of who is at the very center of our existence. That must always be paramount. That must always be paramount, which is contrary to the way most of us are living in this world. which is that there is so much in all of these layers that we have forgotten about the one in the center. Now, at which layer is the me? Traditionally, when the Antakarna has been defined, it has been given a layer. Isn't it? Ahamkar. The ego has been given a layer. But in our investigations, where do we find it? You see, we don't really find it like we find, like for emotions, we may say there's a sensory perception of these sensations floating around. For our mind, we may say, like Bhagwan said, a bundle of thoughts. For the body, we may say there are pain and pleasure, there's perception. Like if we were to include the world, we will say that our senses bring us this world. But what about this me? It's a thought believed in, like about a me. Like if I was to imagine myself to be a frog, where is that frog identity? Okay? It is there but is nowhere. You see? Do I have the frog identity? I have it. You see? But where is it? Nowhere. So it's not a spatial, it's not a temporal thing, and yet it is. Like it seems to become overriding in our existence. So this identity with name and form, that I am this body mind, I am that label called my name, you see, is actually nowhere, and it seems to be so overriding that it is there. You see? And that identity, when it is got into the forefront in the form of the narrative, then we have handed over our life to the narrative, taken it away from God Himself. So, whatever reasoning or excuses we may have to do that, they are all unfounded, because whatever we may be trying to resolve or grow, all of that can happen only in God's light. With me so far? Fairly simple? Yes. So now what happens is that as you start turning towards God more and more, initially it can seem like there's a lot of effort for us to turn. So we may be using a practice, a tool, we may be using God's name, we may be using our self-inquiry, we may be trying to remain in the unborn, in the no mind, whatever we are trying to use. What is common in all of the methods? Because they seem so different on the face of it. One is actively asking a question, who am I? One is saying Ram, 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 Ram. You see? Then one is saying, no, empty. I will just remain as the witness of my thoughts. I will not get involved in any of them. I will not give birth to any identity by remaining in the no mind, which is the unborn. You see? So, what is the, if all of them are spiritual practices, what is common between all of them? Not keeping, okay, very good. So, not keeping the me at the center, then what happens? What is again common between all of them? Huh? Yes, where does it lead? Silence. Very good. So this silence, is it just like, oh, it's very silent right now, I can't hear anything? Is that the silence? Like, I can't hear anything. That is not the silence. You see? So this silence and maybe stillness is also a pointer to that. So all of these practices, if they are spiritual practices, they get us to a holy stillness. A holy stillness. What's the big deal about a stillness? Maybe I can inject myself with something and have a feeling of that stillness.
Witness.
Huh?
Observing a witness, stillness.
Okay, so we are as the witness. So what's the big deal about that?
Seeing movement, observing movement.
Okay, but what's the big deal about that?
There is
The mind
change
can't
for
create it. It's not
Mind can't create it. Okay, but what's the big deal about that?
Because it's that door where you can meet.
Huh?
You can meet.
It's our source. So what's the big deal about that? You're getting there. You're getting close.
God.
That's it. You see, so it's a hugest deal
Yeah.
because that stillness is his doorway. That stillness is his doorway. So whatever spiritual practice we are doing allows us to remain in that holy stillness, because there Atma Gyan happens, and if we remain in Atma Gyan, Atma Darshan happens. See, and I'll expand on those words. Now, this does not mean that the practice by themselves is meaningless. I'm not at all saying that. Every remembrance of God is supremely meaningful. As an expression of love towards God is supremely meaningful. Every time we sincerely want to know who we really are, it is supremely meaningful. Every time we allow our narrative to pass us through and we remain open and empty, it is supremely meaningful. And yet, there is great potential. There is great, I don't know what the right word is. It is an imperative for us to come to that holy stillness. Because in that holy stillness, it is full of one quality. You see? It is full of one quality, which is receptivity. You see? We are just more receptive than we can ever plan to be in a worldly way. You see, it's like we are naked. You're just receptive. You're just open. You see? Fully vulnerable, fully open to receiving God Himself in the holy chamber of our heart. In the holy chamber of our heart. So far, we have, in our spiritual practice also, till this point, we have driven our agenda. I want to love God this way, I want to do this sadhana, this practice, this thing. So far, we have driven our agenda till we come to that stillness. Now we've handed over all our devices, all our tools, and we are empty, open, receptive, receiving. And what are we receiving? We are receiving a transmission from the Atma itself. It is transforming our soul, our antakarna. Because we have let go of ourselves and brought ourselves to the operating table of the Atma itself. So we are receiving a divine light, and the Sufi sages have called that a dazzling darkness. Darkness because it is unperceivable mostly, we'll come to that, and dazzling because it is not just a dark empty room. So that holy procedure is happening in our heart, and saints and mystics for centuries have called it various different things, but it is a pristine process of love. It's a pristine process of love. So this silent transmission comes from the true Sadguru in our heart, and fills up our insides as much as we will let it, as empty as we make ourselves to it, it fills us up. And all external things that happen in satsang, like transmission, Shaktipat, all of these things are replicas just of this, to give us a taste of who sits in our heart. So when one becomes an instrument of that, then the Atma may use that instrument in these holy ways to give us a taste of that which is not available in this universe otherwise. And once we have tasted that, then we want to dive in more and more into that. You see, so when this photosynthesis, the tanning booth of the Atma, whatever different ways you want to talk about this, when we are in that, then we have been held captive by the Atma. So that which seemed like an effortful process of turning within, now feel like Spirit has pulled us in. You see? Spirit has pulled us in. And to snap out of that actually then becomes like an effort. I have to exert some effort to come out of this holiness. You see? So that which was effortful initially, actively we were trying to remain in that stillness. Now that stillness has taken us over. I cannot explain to you the holiness of this point. It has to be tasted. And even after being there, actually your mind will not be able to interpret it in its glory, because the mind is not a participant in this process. You are receiving I have to use these words because we have to use language. You're receiving the rays from the Atma within, but these rays may not be palpable yet to any perception, to any interpretation. But you have a deep sense of auspiciousness, a deep sense of holiness, which is in your heart, which you cannot get in this world. So as Gyaneshwarji said, that this is Devachiya Dware. So to stay in this door of God, to stand there for a moment, he says that all types of Muktichari, Sadhi Elya, which means that he has defined, sages have defined 4 types of freedom. He said all 4 types of freedom are available to you, Ubhashan Bhari, if you stand there for one moment. So that moment of freedom, that moment of enlightenment, whatever, sages have used various names for it. Now this moment is never spoken about as something that has passed. You see? So if you insert it into your narrative and say, but I was there at that time, it's over, so I've got all 4 types of liberation. It's not that. This is that moment. This is that moment. This is that moment. You have to stand in the holy light of the Atma within, even though it may seem unseen at the moment, and yet standing there in the sanctum sanctorum, facing the sanctum sanctorum of your heart temple, you're receiving a holiness which is beyond compare. You're being transformed in a way which is beyond compare. So this is very, very important. This is coming to Atma Gyan. So it's so different from what we thought Atma Gyan to be. We thought that Atma Gyan means I will be able to say that I am Brahman itself. And we will be able to. We'll come to that point. But Atma Gyan right now is unseen and unconceptualizable, and yet it's the holiest taste that we can have. So I love the word dazzling darkness. It's a dazzling darkness emanating from your heart, filling up your soul if you turn towards the one in your heart. Yes. Take the mic. Are you getting a sense of what we are exchanging for one story that we want to add on to our narrative today? What is the pristine nature of what we are exchanging for that? Go ahead.
ये जैसे when I feel like when I try to remember Ramji, when I try to love like something related to him, like his Leela or how he looks or how he is or something. So then I feel like एक rest एक restful place.
Exactly.
So but I'm कि मैं ऐसे दिन क्या मैं पहुंची so that is trying to grasp and
Exactly.
and आप बोल रहे हैं कि it is not grasp.
No, it's exactly. Thank you for asking that. Because as I am saying this, the mind, the spiritual ego may also take on these things as a way to achieve progress. You see? Now we have to be, but to come to that stillness, all of this has to be kept aside. You see? And as you are getting used to living in that holiness, your mind will try to disturb you as much as it can. Unfortunately, it will try to disturb you as much as it can. That's why Saint Teresa of Avila gave this instruction, which sounds very simple, but if you are able to follow, can become the strength of our spiritual practice. Which is, she said, let nothing disturb you. So simple. Let nothing disturb. This is what is very important. So when you are there, especially, let nothing disturb you. Not wanting to stay, not wanting more, not wanting to celebrate, not asking, is this it? Not saying, are we there yet? Not claiming a certificate of anything because of that. You see? So that becomes a practice for us, because the push and pull will happen. You see, the play, the what we call Maya is a set of things which happen, which are meant to disturb us. You see? They're meant to disturb us sometimes in the guise of elevating us. Yes, this is so great, I am so great, I sat for 10 minutes or sat for 10 hours. You see? I sat. No, you didn't. When the one that had the ability to do anything was kept aside, then the sitting in the holy place happened. You see? So it's a great fallacy to make this a topic of grasping, getting, am I there yet? Because if that I who could be there, who could go somewhere, has gone there, then that is not the true place. You see, so all these questions are just made up by the mind to do what? To disturb us. To disturb us in the sense to get us back involved in the story of the me, rather than remaining in the photosynthesis of the holy light. You see, it's transforming us into beautiful flowers of His love and light. But this whole mechanism of Maya doesn't want us to flower in that. So yes, we all have to go through this, and it will try to play the cards which it will think work for you. See? So it will try to pull out thoughts of that special relationship which may be most attractive to you, thoughts of those achievements, maybe spiritual achievements which are most attractive to you, thoughts about, fears about the body, which may be most compelling to you. So it knows exactly which cards to play to try and disturb us. You see? So we can hold on to this, that I am not to get involved with any narrative, anything which may seem to be. When you are in that holy place, you don't have to worry about anything at all, because the one who has held you in his embrace is taking care of everything in your life. You see, so mind will try to give you all kinds of fears and things to distract you, to disturb you from this place, but our practice, our attempt is to remain. You see, of course, many times we will fail, but we are not to take that failing as a failure. We've fallen down, we get back up again. Baiji said, no? Gir gaye ho to ut jao. Because the mind will use the despair, unworthiness, guilt, all of those things. So that's why we have to keep practicing, keep at it. There is nothing possible at all, like losing is not a possibility if your intention is to be there. You may fail at, like it may not happen that you reach the door, but even your intention, that's why I said there's great meaning even in remembering his name once. There's great meaning in just sincerely asking, who am I one? Or great meaning in the intention to not get involved in the narrative. So all of these are not futile, so I'm not at all. So that's why I keep saying, suppose Ma Shabri spent 60 years doing what she did, but at the end Ramji did not come in the way that he did. Was that a wasted life? In the traditional way of looking at it, if you look at it in the linear way, yeah, of course it's a wasted life. She waited 60 years for him to come, he didn't come. You see? So, but there is no holier way of spending our life than to set the table for God every day. There is no greater way. Our life is holy just in that itself. You see? Because he is well aware that the rest of it is only his grace. But we are fighting with the forces of the me to try and turn towards him. We are doing what is possible for us. And that is all that counts, that is all that matters. So we are doing the 0.00001%, if at all, even that. The rest of it is a purely graceful process. Even that is a purely graceful process, but I'm just trying to give you a sense. Unfortunately, again, we have to use words. So our job is to turn with everything that we have in full love towards him, her, and that's all that counts from our side. You see? Now, if somebody says that, oh, you just go into few moments of stillness. I sit 10 hours in Nirvikalpa Samadhi. You see? Then what should our reading be? Yeah? Mean nothing. Because the 10 minutes in stillness is God's doing. The 10 hours in Nirvikalpa is God's doing. You see? So that is why when we take human credit for that process which is purely grace, then that becomes a spiritual ego, it becomes a spiritual pride. So God did, and for us to take credit for that would be just sheer foolishness. You see? So we just have to take every life moment to moment, and there will be enough ammunition in that. There will be enough happening on a daily basis to give you the feeling that you had a workout. The feeling that you had a workout is available to you every day, a spiritual workout. is available to you in the content of every day which has been hand cooked by God Himself to be given to us. Hand fed by God to us. There's enough spice in that food for us to work with. So that's enough to keep us engaged in turning towards God. Now the rest that happens has to be taken purely as a gift. And even if nothing happens, has to be taken purely as a gift. We cannot get into pride or despair based on spiritual experiences, because Spirit knows best. Atma knows best as to what to give and when. And mostly it's a question of making us humble. So if 10 hours of Nirvikalpa Samadhi happen tomorrow, then very, very high chance that we'll be taking all spiritual credit for that instead of giving it to the Spirit itself. So it knows what to feed us when. That's mine. So are you getting a sense of the project? The spiritual project, which even in spirituality is not really explored that deeply. So then as we deepen, should I even go further? Maybe it's not needed. You have to explore for yourselves. No? How further? And then? Yeah. Then nothing. So let me just say that what so far seemed to be a dark and empty stillness, as you learn to live there, you will start getting introduced to textures which are out of this world. And don't try to imagine them, because if you imagine them, the imagination will only get in the way. You see? So you will get introduced to a holy way of life in which God's presence, the various textures of His way of guiding us, the various tastes of a holy love in our heart, all of these become more and more apparent. And because we start tasting these inward textures, then we start growing in our dispassion towards our attachments on the outside. Because these tastes are unmatched in the world, they cannot be found. So then when you start tasting this nectar, then the world's invitations to pleasure and all of that seem like trivial Lego bricks that you may have enjoyed as a child, but they have no interest for you now. So to put it simply, our inclination changes to become inward facing, and that which was felt to be just a dark empty place inward becomes a whole new realm for us to live in. So Atma Darshan happens, Saguna Darshan happens, Nirguna Darshan happens. And these things we cannot really speak about. Like the mind cannot compute Nirguna and Darshan together. What you will have? You will have. But what is more important is what is our end of the bargain, which is to apply our practice to come to that, actively to try and come into that stillness, that holiness. And not just with the intention to get there, just even a simple remembrance of him, of her, is extremely valuable just for the love in it. See, some of these things we cannot fix for ourselves. Like, how do I take away self-interest of wanting to achieve spiritually from my spiritual practice? Like, how do I remove selfishness from my spiritual practice? We can't, but he does it for us. We just have to keep at it, and he cleans us up from the inside. He washes out everything that needs to be washed out. So you just keep at it. So don't let your mind say to you, because sometimes it happens with you and some of the other children also, that your mind starts harassing you with questions like, but you're doing it for your spiritual pride, or you're doing it for yourself, you're still doing it for the me. But we don't really know yet how to remove the me from the picture. So all we can do is to keep at it, to keep praying. Prayer teaches us how to pray. The more we learn how to pray, the more it teaches us how to pray. You see, and we must never feel like I've reached the end of the process. Like, I can tell you that after being at this for whatever 28 years or something now, I just feel like I've taken just the slightest start on this journey. The end, by God's grace, thankfully, the end is nowhere in sight. Which is completely the opposite of what the ego wants. Our ego wants to climb the top of the mountain and to sit there and to be the claimant of the top of the mountain. Our heart wants more and more of him. Give me 1,000,000 lifetimes to taste you, Lord, that I may sit in your presence. If the end of this life means that I will not taste you anymore, I want to continue this transmigration forever. And I feel quite certain in my heart that the end of this life, or the end of human life, is not the end of tasting the Lord, but if it was, so all the goals that we set out at the beginning of spirituality, or were told to us at the beginning of spirituality, they completely transform in their complexion. They appeal to the ego initially, the achiever initially, but at the end you enjoy the beginnerness of this journey.
Father, all that
Just to add something which you may want to hear about the previous question. So everything that we heard about heaven, Vrindavan, Ram Darbar, everything is there. See, everything is there. And we will meet it in ways that our imagination and current sensory perceptions cannot fathom. So, as you learn to live there, we find God's holy dwelling place is not like a lifeless, dull, empty place. Vaikunt and Golok and whatever is the most beautiful abode of the Lord that we can fathom is there. And if it is His grace, then He provides moments of insight into all of that as well. But again, don't start imagining things, because your imagination will only get in your way. But I don't want you to ever feel like the world that you have exchanged for His presence is in any way more full of light and beauty than the inner world. Sorry, and it is from those holy insights that the sages have had that we have had the privilege of encountering all of these holy representations of God. There's a simple way of looking at it, which is to say, whatever resonates with you, just imagine it and God has made Himself available to you like that. Very beautiful, simple enough actually for all of us. But I want to tell you that all of these thousands of representations of God have been received by sages as holy insight in their hearts. And that's why they carry so much weight, they carry so much reality. I don't know, I'm saying all this, I rarely talk about this stuff. Not that I even know any of them.
So, Father, my question changed with your last day. Are you saying that all the Saguna Swarup are the insights sent as God?
Of course. Of course. I don't know why I'm saying of course. But of course. Undoubtedly it is true. Like when you see representations of Kali, when you see representations of say Garuda, or you see Hanuman, or you see representation of Durga Ma, they're not just some mind created fantasy. When you talk about the Virat Roop of Narayan, when you talk about the Virat Roop of all the Lord, they are not just some imaginary fantasy. They have been received in the heart of that holy place, which is pointing us to the truth of God's reality, which is much more than we can ever fathom in our heads. And that's why they carry the force of resonance. They carry the force of resonance that something just instantly feels at home with some of those representations. Can't be if it is just a purely fantasized version. What is your question?
No, the question was, he said that all the Swarupa are the vision in the heart for sun. So when we are talking about Kali or Maharupa, is it real vision or still we see as a stories of
Fantasy.
Panchakarma or not Panchatantra? So, Father, thank you. Father, my original one was, you mentioned that God will give us a lot of situation to make us humble.
Yes.
But almost all the sansaric things, whether it is good news or bad news, are more about making you proudful, right? So,
So that is why what is the best humbling thing we can do every day? It is to try to pray. So in our our idea of where our prayer life should be and where our prayer, I'm speaking for myself, like the idea of where my prayer life should be and where it actually is enough to humble us every day. Isn't it? Like we heard about the pearls which are available to us on the inside, and when we encounter what we actually encounter every day is when we sit down, then how much resistance, how much worldly things, how much we still have to face after so many years of this, you see, is enough to keep us humble. And also in prayer, God gives us a bonus also. Like He doesn't prop up our ego. Many times He tells me how I was foolish in which situation. So He ends up keeping me properly humble in those. Many things which I never even looked at come up in my prayer, and I see that I could have met that situation with so much more love. You see? So many times if I'm sending like, please forgive me notes, it is after my prayer. I apologize because I was not able to see clearly, but in my prayer, in my heart, I was shown that I didn't come from a place of love, from a place of truth. So, yeah, I'm learning to accept those corrections from God. So we may say for ourselves, today I have to get darshan of Vrindavan within. But instead he shows you how you are foolish in a particular interaction. You see, and we have to accept either as prasad. To accept. We cannot force our way there. We have to accept as prasad. And we cannot have preferences and say, no, this.
Father, I have two questions. As I first, other when I'm not praying, like you said, I am not able to see only. But when I'm praying, so many things comes up. I see my foolishness and incapacity to pray only. But Father, like your teachings and the Satsang teachings held that space and bring back to the prayer every time. I also get worried whether I'm doing it mentally, or it also creates some pressure sometimes that it's the way to do it. To give an example, suppose the focus is coming back to me. Something says that no, focus should be God. So it creates that subtle pressure in the moment, and this is happening moment after moment. It's not like once I do it and
Yes.
I am over it. It comes moment and moment. It's a new challenge. So is that okay, Father?
Yes. We can compare our prayer life to bringing up a child. I know that you don't have the experience of that yet, but like when you're a parent, first they tell you that the first 3 months are the most difficult. If you got into the first 3 months, then it's all easy. Then they tell you, no, now he has to learn how to walk and communicate a little bit, till then it will be difficult. So after 11, 12 months you feel. Then they say, hey, by the way, this is called the terrible twos. This is the terrible twos where they'll be naughty and try to push their boundaries and all of this stuff. Then terrible twos are over. So you're getting the point. So at every point, the challenge and the texture of the challenge changes. But I wouldn't say that for anyone, at least I cannot say for myself that prayer life is easy. And when we are teenagers are praying, then challenge is different. When they are in the 20s, then challenge is different. So as we go along, it is, but everyone, or let's not say everyone, but 99% of those people who have children will say, whatever all the challenges were, it is still worth it. I would not want my life without it. I'm not at all saying everybody should have children. I'm not giving family advice. I'm just saying that our prayer life is like that we would never exchange it, because we face aridity at times, we face frustration at times, we face all of these things. We would not say no. You see, once you get a taste of prayer, then you never want to leave it. It's still worth it. You got an answer. So all of these will come. You just have to take it in your stride, keep at remembering the name, keep at it. you will see all the various tricks that the mind will play, how much deviousness, sneakiness, trickery is there. You see it more and more and more, and we just have to take it moment by moment, day by day, deepen in this.
Yeah, face Father. Like, I'm very grateful to you, Father, because in that moment it feels like drowning, and your words literally pull pull me out of that drowning away. I'm very grateful to you, Father, and I also want to surrender this worry that I am doing it mentally, because I feel it very much with love for you. And like, we today something was happening and we were discussing that are we doing mental spirituality, but I want to give it to you, Father, that I like it when I remember your words through the day. Actually, I don't know what my heart is saying, but I know what you have said. So I am able to uh, come to that point because of you, what you have taught and how you have taught, Father. So it's to give an example, like we went to Pondicherry, and there we were seeing the beautiful ocean and everything, and it reminded me what you were saying the other day, that what infinite we see outside, more infinite is there in within me. So I was not able to meet it, but it felt very beautiful, because if that is something I cannot fathom, and how much it must be inside, Father. So I'm very grateful to you, Father. My second question is,
Can I say something
Yeah.
on that? I feel like this is the beauty of the spiritual path, which is that all this inner infrastructure that we have, when immersed in God, then that, although may be usually used to turn us towards Maya, but when immersed in God's remembrance, then becomes part of our deepening spirituality. So Gyaneshwarji said what? That without taking Harinam, ye man vyarth jave. Which means that, what is he saying? It's so many layers in just every line he says in the Hari-Part. No? So he has firstly said that there is a chance to not make this mind completely worthless, to not make this mind completely worthless. And that opportunity is by filling it up with God's name. You see? Which is a very radical, very beautiful pointer. He said, without it, it goes waste. That means that with it, it is not going waste, it is becoming helpful. So when you remember words of satsang, then at least by God's grace, a small, like 0.01% of that grace of remembering God's name would also be there in remembering the words or pointers of satsang. So don't have to worry about that, unless you are taking the words of satsang as an end in themselves. You see, as complete in themselves, and not just as pointers which is leading you in. That is the only point at which even the words of satsang can become obstacles, when we start treating them as an end in themselves, like as the final destination is to how many, like if you and Zara were to fight about who knows more of what has been spoken in satsang, then that would be a complete waste of time. It's not about capturing the words and filling them up, but in terms of when you're faced with life situations, when there's a reminder of these words which help us to turn away from egotism to God, then that is useful.
Father, exactly what you said, like that, even that now I'm realizing the value of that moment. It does, because those your words are so powerful that it's the only way in. There's no ego or anything in, because it's your word first of all. So I'm very grateful for that, Father. And a second question is, Father, what you were saying about this stillness, that so
The
stillness that
Stillness,
the practice is laid. So to be very honest, I don't come to that stillness. It's a constant fight for me through the day to do the practice itself. I have experienced it few times.
How old is the baby? So I don't mean to cut your question short. It just came like that to us. So initially, when the baby is an infant, it has to be cared for a lot. You feel like, why do you have children? Why do people have children? No, every parent has first asked that. So initially, it can feel like that. Why did I get into this practice of prayer? Right? It's so frustrating most of the time. I don't see anything. Sometimes in prayer, sometimes by God's grace, we are given a gift very early. But then the time after that can seem a little frustrating because that gift is not attainable every time we sit to pray. So there are various things you will go through. But don't worry, you just have to go. Know that contrary to what is popular, and I may be responsible for spreading some of that also in my earlier days, this process of spiritually maturing is a long drawn project. So a lot of the frustration can come from wanting immediate success, immediate gratification, which thankfully, to keep our pride in check, is not the usual pathway.
Thank you very much.
Who? Yes. So what narrative of the me are we willing to behead today in Satsang? At least carry that strong intention to say, this one, gone. How many are main narratives? 2, 3, 4. Huh? No, I was saying, was that the question? Okay, thank you. What I was saying is that just all of us must offer one of our main stories, with the intention of never falling for it again. Intentional, of course. How it plays out, we'll see. But at least we must carry that strong intent to Jai Bajrang Bali it. This story, I'm done with it. It has taken enough of my life. I'm done with it now. Some stories, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, still continue.
Hello. So it's been 2-3 days, Father. I'm trying to experiment with this. When people say something bad, I will not revert in the same manner, and I'll give time, and I'll do the opposite. I love them. So it's working.
Very good.
It's working.
Very good. That's a beautiful exercise.
So I'd like to continue with this.
Please. Beautiful. It's reminding me of Saint Therese. Saint Therese said that when my mind pushed me towards hatred, I made it a point to love more. This is very good. And the mind will trick you into say, but this is inauthentic, you're acting, don't get into that. Any mind posture is inauthentic. Any lack of love is inauthentic. So anything that you're doing for love, to grow in your love for your brothers and sisters and for God, can never be inauthentic. So I'm fully in support of this. Fully.
Right. No, further, like in that situation, you don't feel like loving them, or
Exactly.
So I feel that ki I'm not feeling love, but I have to do it,
Very.
and it is very beautiful when you see the fruits of that.
Yes.
It's very beautiful.
Yes, exactly. It's beautiful. It cleanses us so much from within also. Like you see the fruits in the world also, but it just is so purifying for our Antakarna inside. It's very good. Yes, very happy to hear that. Those are difficult projects. Simple sounding but difficult in the moment when you're confronted in that way, to remain firstly patient itself, to not react instantly, to remain in that patience and then to respond with love. Beautiful. Very good. Yes.
What if the person in front of us does not understand the language of love? I do deal with a lot of such people, especially in the field I am in. There is a lot of competitive jealousy. I can see everybody, it's a dog eats dog world. I have tried what she just said. That's my usual way also. If somebody may say something, but I still reply back, it's fine. But what happens is, it does not work. They are like cast in perhaps their mind is cast in stone.
Yeah.
It's not work for them. So how pragmatic is it? There is one is...
It's not pragmatic. Nothing in satsang is pragmatic. Not offering any pragmatism. And what is good to remember is that it is purifying for us from the inside. And that's why I was saying that even if the outer outcome was not what we expected it to be, when we love anyway, if there is expectation attached in terms of how somebody else should respond, it's not that unconditional love which we are talking about. But even if our attempt was heartfelt to come back with love and it was not received well in the world, remember that all of this, our whole life is about the audience of one, not the audience of many. So he knows that you made the attempt to come from love, and that is the only thing that's important. Yeah. Like in the lives of sages, so much oppression they had to bear, many of them. But they knew that he is the one, he is the only true audience, and they lived their life to please him alone. It's not easy. I resonate with you that it's not a quick fix solution, but it helps us, it grows our spiritual muscles on the inside. But no pragmatism in such. In fact, most of what is shared in satsang will sound too utopian, too idealistic, too far-fetched.
I may ask, I have thought a lot about it, but when we look at the lives of Ram and Krishna, there's a point beyond which, and they were also, nobody can be more loving than them. But, and for example, the case of Duryodhana, Krishna tried a lot to stop the war.
Yeah.
What she just mentioned, the path of love.
Yeah.
Not just he tried, he sent Vedvyasa and other people to bring about peace, amicable solution, but it didn't happen. He was ready for the war.
Absolutely.
So somewhere he also chose the path of pragmatism,
Yes,
because he understood nothing is, love is not going to work.
Absolutely.
Same is the case with Ram. He sent Hanuman as his doot. Ravan samajh jao. Then finally he had to attack. So Father, I feel somewhere this idealism.
Like he waited for the ocean, the sea to give way. And then after a few days of the sea not giving way, then also he took up his arms. Now the thing is that let me try explaining it through this first, and then if there's more we can talk more. So somebody asked Anand Mahima कि ये देखो, they were great saints like Durvasa Rishi. Sometimes in his anger he would turn somebody to ashes. So if that anger is allowed in sages, then why can't we get angry? Why do you say you must never get angry? She said, okay, now when you have the power like sage Durvasa to turn someone to ashes and bring them back to life, then you can get angry. So let me use another way to explain this. Now, on the chariot, when the battle started, what was Arjuna's dharma based on our conceptual rationality, morality? It is a like, I hope we've met it as an impossible question, because if we've not met it as an impossible question, then we've not got the gist of what is tried to be conveyed. So then what makes it dharma for him to then do, to take up arms actually? What made it dharma and not adharma?
He was duty bound to fight.
Because of like family where he came from? Like Buddha was born into a princely family. He was duty bound to rule over his kingdom and help his praja to this thing. And yet, can we say Buddha didn't do his dharma? Some people stupidly do say that. But that's exactly the point I'm trying to make. That if Arjuna had left that chariot, become a sannyasi and had become the next Buddha, then also we would have said, see, he helped so many people, he gave up all attachment to money and he served God in such a beautiful way. You see? Now, what is the distinction of dharma and adharma? When to pick up arms and when to not? Can we leave that decision to our intellect? Then, so in the way it is depicted, in the way it happened, let me not even say it's depicted, it's made very clear. No? It is his dharma because that is what the Lord is telling him to do. The Lord is right there. He is available as his guru and best friend. What a privileged life. He is there with him, and he is telling him that he is the very originator of dharma adharma. He is the very originator of right and wrong. What makes telling the truth good and telling a lie bad? He has made that. You see, so and he has made that universally. You see, so the very one who has made it is standing next to him and is telling him. So then where does it leave little old us? Because he is not standing pratyaksh in that way in front of us as our best friend and God himself. So it leaves us with the recourse to knowledge of his will in our heart. So when Nanakji said Hukum Rajai Chalna, Nanak Likhya Nal, which is the main thing, then he is saying that this is universally available to all of us. That we must learn to live in God's will, and you can pick up arms, but in my case at least, God has never told me in my heart to get angry. He has never told me in my heart to get angry yet. So I'm available to him to be used in whichever way that he wants. So I would not base worldly actions based on what our mind defines as the limit. In fact, we were talking to another child just before that, before the broadcast started, that the mind defines a limit for us and says, now enough. Even Lord Krishna gave Shishupal 9900 forgiveness and then took out his Sudarshan Chakra. But we are not Krishna. No? We have access to Krishna. Yeah, but we don't have the capacity in our mind intellect to say how many times forgiveness is enough. You see, so if we feel like we don't have access to God's will in our heart, then it is always a safer possibility for our antakarna to choose forgiveness, kindness, compassion, love. And when we do have access, then the question is not relevant, because we become, like Kabirji said, we become the dog on his leash. So if he tells us to bite, we'll bite. Be careful of this thing. It cannot become Advaita excuse for bad behavior. Like when he say very fancy things like, my anger is just Shiva energy expressing itself. Yeah? We are not there yet. Let's not fool ourselves with this stupidity.
I don't think, Father, that Krishna went to war out of anger. Because
Yeah,
if he went to a
exactly.
war out of anger, he is not God.
Exactly.
At least
Well,
he must have decided
there
this.
is nothing, no quality that he has created which he cannot use for himself in the best way that he thinks it's a. So, we are not godly if we are getting angry, that much is enough. What makes God God, I don't feel like we have the capacity to judge or not. You see, because many get into like, for a good 20 years or close to 20 years, I had intellectual reasons to not love Krishna. Like, how could he do this on the battle? How could he do that? That is also like putting ourselves in a position of judging God. We can't even judge one moment in our life and what it means. So if I say, what is this? What is the answer? We don't know. Like we know, but what we rely on to know, that mind intellect, is lost to decipher one moment. You see? Or we are set out to judge the actions or inactions of the Lord. Not. And even if we were to claim knowledge, everyone would decipher this moment differently, and opposites. So we have a nail cutter, and we're trying to build uh, a highway with that. And I'm not pointing out something to you specifically. I'm just saying that in our human condition, we are lost in this kind of thing. Like हमें पता है कि भगवान ये करते तो भगवान है, ये नहीं करते तो भगवान नहीं हो सकता. We don't have that capacity, my dear. We just don't have it. It is enough for us to be able to look at our life in the moment and say, in my heart this feels like this would be pleasing to God and this would not be pleasing to God. Even that capacity we don't really have. We have to rely on our heart to tell us. But let's not extend that to any brother or sister, and let's not extend that especially to God. Very right and wrong and everything is invented by him only. No? What makes right right? What makes truth better than lies? All these are just his little toys that he has given us to play with universally. So if you go to a tribe in Africa which is untouched, they will also know that to steal is not good. You see? Although not in touch with any of this culture. So what has provided that in the human heart? He has provided that. Yeah. There's a philosopher called Wittgenstein. Wittgenstein had a very simple approach to knowledge. He said that which we don't have the capacity to know should not be spoken. And why? Like, what does it do? It creates like false flags. It creates false flags. It takes us away from innocence. Like the innocence which is needed to live like a servant of God is taken away by claims to things which we don't have the capacity to know. So what is this? This moment, what is this? Nobody knows the moment, and yet we have full history. How many million words do you need to capture everything in this moment? How the light is falling, how the words are being heard, what is the texture of the environment, the inner climate of this room, how everybody's eyes are shining. What concepts will capture this one moment of our lives? It's beyond our mental, intellectual capacity to capture one moment of His creation just in a tiny room.
Like recently, like couple of days, I've been troubling Father. I've been troubled and troubling somewhere. I feel that, like, made a pact like with myself that I've given my Gadi Chavi to Ramji. Let him ride. I'll be the pillion. So, just sitting, and what is the best thing as a pillion I could do is see how the drive is going, chant like, wow, how beautiful the drive is and stuff. But on the way, no Father, there are some corners which I know ki not 6,000, like 7,500 RPM, that will suit best for that corner. And my hand goes to the throttle. And even his hands are there, like still, I know that. And even I'm trying to adjust some or the other thing. And there are taps at that moment on my hand, like I'm doing it, like something like that. My heart is calling out. But still, my throttle is like I'm trying to adjust his hand, his wrist. And at that moment, the bike loses traction, like starts to sway around. And we did not fall, but slip 100%. Like I could see that slip. And I don't know, Father, like what's happening, and I'm troubled by this thought for the 2 days now. Like I see the nudge, I see him telling me in my heart, like all the time, like kuch mat kar bhai, like bas come sit with me. But I'm not doing that, like all the time.
I've been trying to do this 27 years.
You're just being humble, Father.
No, not humble at all. Every day my hand goes to the throttle. Every day. So that is why we keep practicing, we keep at it. You already have this maturity to be able to notice this. I don't know, at your age, even if I was able to notice this. So just keep at it, don't give up hope. We will try, many times when we feel like we know what is best, what is right, we will try to drive. We will try to snatch the steering wheel away from God. As long as it's like few years back, you would not have noticed this also. Now you're noticing, then it reduces, then it reduces, then it reduces more and more. You just have to keep deepening in this trust, in this devotion. To not see our faults is a denial. To see our faults and to fall into despair is to undervalue His mercy. Really? To see our faults and then to fall into despair means He is not Kripalu. Yeah? But He is very merciful. So, important to see our errors so that we don't repeat them, but also remember that the process is all being taken care of by His grace. Yeah? So, because despair also is a way to keep our hand on the throttle actually. Is He saying that you must despair? Driving you to despair, isn't it? So that we call the two punch from the mind. One punch, it makes us do the error or fall into the narrative of the me, and the two punch, it gets us into this despair, unworthiness, guilt, this thing. And the two punch is the more knockout punch. Because you could have gone to the throttle for a few moments and said, this is right, let's go this way, let's do this, like that. But this, like, falling into the idea that I did something wrong and this is too tough for me and all of that is the knockout punch actually. So that's why simple lines from Bhaiji, which sound very simple but we have to implement, is that गिर गए हो तो उठ जाओ. If you've fallen down, get up. You see, what is He telling us not to do? If we've fallen down, we are not to despair and say, see, again I fell, I don't know if I can walk. No, fallen down, get back up. Yeah. So got shaken off the bike, get back up. Get back.
Like, also, like, the mind comes up with this, Father, like, I've seen so much of magic now, like, I've seen so much of, I don't know what's the right word, like, maybe so much of magic only, I can say, like, so much of magic to not fall into the ocean now. But still I'll end up on the coast with a bucket to take pani, and is what I feel. What is stopping to just dive in that ocean? This comes up and this takes up my time for like...
It's the same, like the same as the first one. Isn't it same? Like diving in the ocean is the ocean of surrender, where you are allowing Him to drive, where you are allowing Him to lead your life whichever way He wants, and to think that I can make something out of it, or I can determine what is good to take some of that. So, are you referring to the fact that we go to the heart to receive something and then we want to make something out of it by ourselves? Is that what the bucket is like? Or?
Like when I sit, I don't want to get up. But I get up. Like after some time, whatever the time is.
See, hands up for all those who do this. It is all our lives are like that. This battle with Maya is not going to be won just like that. I said the other day 2 hours Nirantar Japa. By 1 hour 15 minutes I was so sleepy. I'm going to sleep. No, really. One of the main things why I want to share very openly with everyone is that nobody has a super glamorous idea of what a guru is. Just someone dealing with the same things, dealing with the same situations. By God's grace, is gifted himself, is gifted Atma Darshan, Brahma Gyan, for whatever reason only he can fathom why this foolish man had to be gifted with all of this. And once it is flowing in your heart like that, it feels like it must be shared. It must be shared with brothers and sisters who want to receive it. But there is nothing special about this one. The same Maya traps, the same things can play out just because of so many years of practice with the reduced intensity, with the reduced maybe pull. But as you keep at it, I see you kids and you're much beyond this foolish one. When you come to my age, all of you will be much beyond. So, basically, what I'm saying to you is, lage raho munna bhai. No, Mannu bhai. So, just keep at it and don't fall into any despair. It's a long project. Like I was telling him, there's no. The baby is still young. You'll come to its terrible twos, you will come to things, and you just transcend them, and that will make you stronger and stronger in your heart. The whole, please pass the mic to her. The whole point of, like for many years, not that it was some, I'm not presenting it as any great thing at all, it was quite stupid, but for the first maybe 7-8 years, I just shared satsang and printed superhero t-shirts and things like that, because I just felt like I want to take away the idea that God is available only to the super special, super holy, super achiever type one. Just in the regularness of our life, we can find God by His grace. If we offer ourselves to Him in the most simple, regular ways, then He gifts us with Himself. So I wanted to take any ideas of prerequisites, like I am not there yet type ideas, away from all of us. It's possible for all of us.
Father, I just wanted to say one thing, that it's such a privilege to witness humility, like to even witness humility from you, Father, because I don't feel anywhere else outside, at least this satsang sangha in you, Father, that this humility we can learn from. It's a big blessing. I don't know how to say it, Father, because yeah, I don't know how to say. Yeah.
Saying that, I receive your words. I cannot agree with them, but I receive them. I feel like you don't know how proud I still am, but I receive the love that you're sharing those words with. Thank you. It's a long pathway to come to the age of humility is very fast still.
Father?
Hello.
Hi. Hello. Yeah, I feel like I need your help with all of this. Talking about despair and lack of faith. Uh, I don't know if I've been drifting further from God, but there's been quite a bit of suffering in the past days.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so
I just yeah, I just felt to ask for your help because sorry, I'm just gonna fix this thing. Like, you can see me okay?
yes, perfect.
Okay. I don't know the camera. Um, so Yeah, I thought maybe that you could help me inquire, because sometimes when I feel far from God, it's harder to inquire, but it's also the most needed. And there was a small moment of despair yesterday where maybe it was so much that God took mercy on me and He just fed me the guidance. But it's not like that all the time.
Yeah.
And um, and yeah, I feel like a lot of the time I feel like everything that is happening is a gift. Um, but a lot of the time I feel like it's too much.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you on this. And when we try to fix it, when we try to heal it for a period of time, or resolve it in some way for a period of time, that's usually a filling project. But when we make it just about this moment alone,
Yeah.
is it possible to turn to God, be with His loving presence for just this one moment?
Yeah, I feel like I've been resisting God. Yeah.
Yes, so forget everything else about the
Okay.
past, nothing. It's only now about this moment and your heart for God.
Can I be honest?
Well, there's only one real answer to that. So
There's only one.
it's not a multiple choice question at all. But you see, because I know that Maya is very powerful, but I know it is not powerful enough to work in this very moment if our intention is to be with God for just one moment. It cannot get in the way. It doesn't have the tools. It doesn't have the tentacles to trap us right now.
Okay,
I'm
then I
not.
need to expose
Yeah.
if you allow me to. Okay? Is
Of
that
course,
okay?
but just one more thing to help you, which is that
Yeah.
I'm not talking about any outcome of that. I'm not talking about receiving any holy light. I'm not talking about experiencing any love or peace or anything. I'm only saying in this moment, can we turn towards God or not?
A lot of heat.
A lot of heat. That's good. A lot of heat is good. Because heat can only burn our conditioning. This heat can only burn our conditioning. You want me to bring out the big guns?
I don't know.
So yes, that's a yes. So just turn towards your door and see that Jesus is walking into your room right now.
Okay.
Then in that moment where you saw him, were you in despair?
No.
So what does that tell us? That tells us the capacity to be in His light and to be in His love is still there within us. It is a question of whether we take His presence to be here in reality, or we only take it to be reality if He was perceptibly present.
I don't know, I feel like it's first day of satsang where I want to tell you that it's fine now, but it's getting too tough the rest of the time. And it's like I want to,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yes, my child.
I
I
don't
hear
know what
you.
I
I
want.
hear you. And I'm not at all. I have some access to what you've been going through, so I'm not at all undermining that. In a way, I'm glad that in a way we are in this together. So it's definitely not something that can be labeled as small from a worldly perspective. So, but just to zero in on what you said, what makes it fine now?
God,
Makes it fine now. And the fear of later is coming from God?
no. No, I feel like, yeah, maybe sometimes I feel like I need to say things out loud, maybe
Yes.
to hear them or for you to hear them.
Yes.
It's not just that it's my mom right now and it's everything that's happening with her and I feel overwhelmed. I
Yes.
um I feel like I can't. I know it's all a gift, but a lot of the time I'm feeling emotionally and physically topped up and I don't know how to.
Yes.
It's been going on for months with both my parents and now with my mom and it feels like too much and yesterday it felt like I couldn't. And I woke up in the middle of the night and I was having it felt like a panic attack or something. So um it's a lot emotionally and for the body.
I pray for God's grace to bless the situation with your mom, and may there be peace, may there be love, may there be contentment where there is difficulty and strife at the moment. May His light bring clarity where there is confusion. May His will naturally take over every action that has to unfold from you and from those around you. May all of you receive the strength and courage that you need to go through this difficult time. And may all the heat that you're experiencing of this tapasya be so auspicious for your deepening in God's presence, in His love and His light.
Yeah.
And may you have the strength from God to give Maya a panic attack
How
instead
would
of
that
the
look?
instead of the other way around. Like let Maya panic a
Yeah.
bit. This one is losing. I'm losing this one. She's going to God fully. I'm losing it. Let it panic a bit.
Okay.
Like let it panic. Whatever it's trying, whatever I'm trying, it's not working. It's not working on this one. She's just God has given us her some strength to just stay with Him so strongly. Let's all make Maya panic a bit. Yeah. I know
Father,
that.
if anything comes to our life that even if it feels like it's too much, it is still a gift, right? Feel that way.
Definitely, definitely. Can God give us anything which is not a gift?
No, no.
Remember that in the book of Job, Satan had to take God's permission before troubling Job.
Yeah.
So nothing comes to you without His permission.
When I know that I told you this before, but whenever there is despair, there is, like in this case, anxiety in the last few days, and just this feeling of overwhelm. I feel like I'm failing or like I'm really far from God.
Yes. But can your feelings tell you the distance from you and God?
No.
So if you're in Argentina but you're reading a map of Canada, then obviously it'll seem all different. Uh, you can never be far from God. And in your intention in that one moment to be with God is all that is needed for closeness with God. So don't rely on your thoughts, don't rely on your feelings to determine the distance from God. Is God a set of good feelings?
No.
That's why we talked about the heat today. No? The heat. The heat is auspicious also at times to burn all our conditions. So if we accept that also as a gift from God and as a close intimacy with God, then we will look at it this differently. Can we accept that the heat that our life is giving us is about a deepening of the intimacy with God? Yeah?
Yeah. Sometimes I sometimes I don't, in the middle of it, I don't turn to God.
Yes. You know, unfortunately, heat is going to be hot. That's why it's heat. Heat, by very definition, will make us feel in despair, in as if our spiritual life is a lost cause. It will make us feel all of these things. That is the very definition of heat. If heat would not feel hot, it would not be heat. I know, I'm stating the obvious, but heat feels hot. No? You have to accept that it does feel hot. Like hot in the sense of this, like this separation. It feels like separation, and yet we have to keep your
Yeah.
eyes on God within, in spite of the feeling separation, the seeming separation.
I think it's true, Father, that there is maybe a little bit too much spiritual marketing that makes it seem like this, you know, rainbow life that
Exactly.
has not been my experience a lot of the time, even though
Exactly.
we can be sometimes. especially not especially only inside, and then I see it outside too. But a lot of the time it's just so much struggle.
Yeah. I'm going to steal that term every time I'm ranting about this new age type spirituality, which is this what? Rainbow life. That becomes one
Rainbow, I don't know why I
rainbow.
thought of a
Yeah,
rainbow. It's like fairy tale or
yeah,
something.
no, it works. It works well. Because spiritual marketing, you're absolutely right, is presented as just do these things and you will have this super rainbow life, and you see, there'll be no struggle, and all this inner battle is all just nonsense, so that's not everybody. Let's not say everybody, but most have had to endure a lot of struggle to learn to live in God's light and presence. All
Yeah.
the sages have been through a lot of struggle.
Yeah. However little I know of the saints,
Yes,
that's more like what it's like.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that is why I trust more that which is time tested and not just some new spiritual marketing type stuff.
Thank you for praying for my mom.
Of course.
And I just wanna join you in your prayer that just for God to embrace her and all of us. In whatever destiny has to unfold. And I know that even right now, as there is pain, I know that it's all a gift.
Very good. Whatever is God's highest will and intention with your mother's life and with all our lives, may that be so. May we be open to accepting His gifts even when it seems like we cannot comprehend how this is a gift, especially those times may we receive the strength to go through those times.
Yeah. I'm very grateful for you, Father.
Thank you. I'm very grateful for you too, my child. Thank you so
Yeah. Thank you for being this light, this example, and for your guidance. Just for this miracle. I know that you don't like us talking this way, but
You
just
know
feel
why
very
I don't
grateful.
like it? Because we are all in
You
trouble
think it's not
if
true?
I believe it one day.
Oh, yeah.
We're all in trouble. It's just like, I am the light of your life. It's a scary picture.
I'll let you know. I promise I'll let you know, Father.
Yeah, I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
I don't think we're in much danger.
Here comes the light. May God save
Love
us
you.
from that.
Yeah. I've been feeling lately that teachers of God have the roughest path on this world.
It's quite tough. It's quite tough because pedestal is tough. Pedestal is full of pride poison. It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, and also it seems that from my very limited perspective, it seems as though when the shadow takes over one that has so much light, it feels even like more dangerous, like the Ravan example, than other instances. It feels from what I've seen, it seems even worse. It seems even like a bigger danger.
Yes. So we must pray You must pray for all those who are sharing satsang, sharing God's light. Maybe pray for those who are with good intentions and yet fallen into pride, and pray for those who even started the sharing with intentions to make it about themselves. May we pray for all those who put themselves up on a pedestal. May we pray for God's grace upon them, and may they remain, or may they be brought to humility and love for God.
May I not take it upon myself to judge anyone, Father, because I don't really know anything.
Yes. And may we pray for this man who was sharing with this beautiful family. Please bless this one, that he doesn't fall into any ideas of importance, self-importance, self-image. May he be open to receiving the nudges that God gives to those of us who are falling into pride. May he remain sensitive to God's guidance in the heart. May he never believe that he knows anything at all. May God's grace keep all of us safe and on his narrow holy path. I'm open to whatever life has to bring, but I'm always expecting miracles,
You're always expecting what?
Miracles. I'm always expecting miracles.
I don't know what you meant by that, but
I'm just open to whatever life has to bring. So that's the pragmatist in me, but there's also the undying optimist here who's always expecting miracles. Because, and not in an unfounded way, because I've seen so many miracles, completely unexpected, beautiful movements of God's grace. And in this situation also, I am expecting miracles to happen.
I like that.
Bless, bless.
Thank you, Father. Bless you, bless you,
Thank you.
bless you, bless you. Thank you.
All right, let's go to Satyam.
Hello, Father. Namaste.
Hello, my love.
Thank you for being here. I will start like this. Thank you for listening and giving attention. I think Ananta-ji, Father, I need some. Can you hear me, Father?
I can hear you very well.
Okay. Thank you. Father, it's 3 years now. This step has taken in my life when I moved to India.
Yes.
And from the last conversation, I keep listening to that if God has made this happen. It must be merciful.
Yes.
My heart knows this is true, but uh, I can I can really cut the whole story and say, oh, the me doesn't exist. But it's really not like that, Father. There is a me here which is struggling with this, and it was not 5 years, 10 years. It's almost 30 years of my life. Uh, so I moved out of India when I was 19, and now I'm 52 or 53. So this, and it was they didn't force it. It was voluntary, because my system was so contracted in Denmark, isolation and anxiety, and so, and something was, all my friends said, you shouldn't be doing this, think about it. But I would not listen to anyone. I said, this is no life, this is too perfect life, everything comes on time here. So something was getting ready for, really, this is, India is the opposite, Father. Denmark is one of those countries where infrastructure is, if you want to say paradise infrastructure, probably that would be. And I'm born in this land here, and so my system is is really, it's on. And now at 19 I didn't experience India, and now all my young youth was in Europe, and now suddenly this here, it's it's a lot to tell, not to. It's a lot to take, and I can laugh at it, and I can also make fun of it. But there's a grief here, Father, which I'm not able to stop. I'm grieving somewhere, and I don't know why am I grieving for this. Uh, there are moments when the veil gets lifted, when the me and its stories get taken away by grace. Those moments when it can be seen. It's the Maya thing. The Maya. But the grief, it's all. One side knows that it's all made up. Come on, shut up. You just made it. You made it all up. It's a made up me, but there's a grief here which I'm going here. Of I know this is all illusion, but I'm not able to stop it, Father. And I'm reciting Hanuman Chalisa. Why I did this? Because I think I was 2 years old. I remember. I'm sorry. Just stop me if I'm cramming too much about the me. Father, as a child in the kindergarten in India, I went to St. Clair's. There was a school, and I used to copy Hanumanji. Yeah, it was funny. Teachers would say, Sachin, come on, pose like a Hanuman. I would sit like this, and I would do this. And he came in my dream as a 2-year-old, like an image. So I thought, okay, this is a sign. I don't know, Father, but I'm just, I'm in the dark. That's how this is a sign from life. And then pulled towards Deem Crowley Baba, and all these insight, and Switzerland, no one moving. All this has happened, and it's a strange unfolding. And then meeting you, which is reminding me of this love. And sometimes I want to say, Father, I'm not able to relate to the word God. What is this? I don't know the guy, but somewhere, because it never came to me. I never went to the temples in India to pray, Father. I never asked anything. I was not this kind of a child. I never went and asked. The first time I felt the silence was in Switzerland. I said, Buddha talked about this. So I relate to that silence and the self, or the not moving. I relate to these terms, Father.
Yes.
And when I listen from your mouth the word God, I feel the heart, and then it's just like melting. and what it does is that it takes the pride away. It takes, that's what it does in my that's what I felt the last time I've talked. I've done the Ram 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 Ram. I said okay. And I can see the mind going, oh, who's your favorite god, and all the rubbish which it talks.
Exactly.
Shiva is yours, Hanumanji. I said, shut the fuck. This is all just bullshit. This is another trap trying to get hold of you to distract another. So I keep Ram and I remember when this first time it opened this silence, I looked at Father, I would look at Om and I would burst into tears. I said, this is the Om, this is where it is. I felt it, I knew it. I knew it, no, I cannot say I knew it, but it was known, it was felt that this. So these events which happen in one's life, I'm trying to, again, the big question, it's a priceless, who's the doer? Someone is doing through us. All this, because I think there's enough, not a habit, but kind of a way in my life to reflect. So to reflect at things, who did this, then sometimes the thoughts are, maybe it was my plan which met God's plan, or God's plan which met my plan. Father, I will never know this.
Yeah, exactly.
I will never know this is all, but all I know this, and then Mujiji, I've never followed pointings so seriously. I've done the way I've done with Mujiji, with can the perceiver be perceived, because this is what came in my life through his mouth in Portugal. And then I cried, and then he says, oh, the first tears were when you have issues, you need a tissue. That's how he joked. Then after, when we went into silence, and then this thing was, can the perceiver be perceived? Then the tears came again, and then he said, this is when you cry for God.
One moment, Satyam. It seems that father's laptop has run out of battery, but maybe he comes back.
All right, Adrian. All right, thanks. Yeah.
so sorry. You're back now. I hope you can hear me. Yes.
Is it all right, Father? Can you still hear me?
Yes, yes, I can hear you well. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Can I?
Please, please.
Thank you again. And then I've been. This is always happens when because I know this love affair is here, Father, and I keep listening. I'm like a moth to a flame. I listen to your videos all day long, and the reminders are there. And I cannot say when you say, can you feel, when you talk to other people who are in love with truth who are here, sometimes I feel they are asking the same questions which I need to also ask, so I don't need to ask that. And sometimes the questions are there which I want to ask, someone else ask it, so it's beautiful that way. And then when you talk to someone, can you feel this presence in God's presence in your heart? There is some presence which I can feel, Father. I don't know what it is, but there is something is here. I cannot pinpoint it, what it is. But at the same time, there is the play of the me which is also happening. I cannot. I'm not a guy who's completely in one with God, Father. I'm not this. I'm really. If I have to talk honestly, there's some tamasic tendencies and there's a lot of crap in this system. But I'm just glad that I've seen a little bit of that little light, whatever that is, and I'm holding on to that. And you are reminding that. That's all I can say. And so that's all. And yeah. And if you have something, I want to shut up and listen to you. Really.
No, thank you for sharing. And I completely empathize with this situation. For a 19-year-old boy to leave his country, then live 30 years in a new country, and then to shift back to the godly chaos that India is, cannot be that easy. So I completely empathize with that. Why I said godly chaos is that they say that that in spite of all the things all the problems that we have in India, it still continues functioning. That proves that there is a God.
Amazingly. Amazingly. I will not say a single word. It's just so true.
It's very true.
This is how it's working. It's a God driven. My God, where and yeah.
Exactly. So it's not easy for you, and I'm not here to Advaita police you or to undermine the problem or to do any of that. I can imagine that if it was my life, I would also be struggling to some extent with this situation. So I'm fully with you in that. I understand fully with you. I feel like I'm very gladdened to hear that you're taking Ram Nam, you're remaining in his name, and just I want to tell you, I want to encourage you to keep at it. You will see that his name is so potent, that while it is the great medicine to bring you to Atma Darshan, Atma Gyan, it will also give you the strength, it will give you peace, it will give you joy. He knows how much dosage of what is needed when. You just have to wait for his name to settle in more and more, and then you will start to see that your life will get transformed. I have no doubt about that. And I just want to bless you. I want to encourage you on this holy path that you've taken. So that's as far as the practice is concerned. You said also very nicely, and many of us have been in satsang for many years, so we pick up the habit of reflection, like you said. and it's a good habit. I would just say that when you reflect, then reflect all the way. Reflect all the way. Like what the illustration that you shared with me was that you reflect on something, and then there's the mind tries to make some connections, and at that point you reject the connection, which is good, but you also stop the reflection at that point on some occasion. So I would just say that we can follow Bhagwan Sri Ramana Maharishi's guidance and say that when a thought comes in response to our reflection, to our inquiry, and inquiry is not just who am I, inquiry is any question which is spiritual, which can be only answered from the deeper place. Then when the mind tries to offer us a response to that, we can say who witnesses that thought. You see, who witnesses that thought. So then the reflection will add to your sadhana itself, it will deepen. So when it's a good habit actually to reflect, but then if when you reflect, then just stay with it for some time, allow the reflection to bring you into that same holy stillness which the name of Ramji will also bring you to.
Yeah.
And there is no harm if you're doing both of them.
Yeah. I've noticed, Father, every time you, when those gracious moments comes by the grace, and then after experiencing, I'm so sure that the pull of the Maya becomes equally strong. The responsibility becomes much more, even greater, because those moments give you a clarity, and then you know it's a banana peeled right next day you're gonna slip, and it's and then, and as Bhaiji, or the one you mentioned, get up and then and start. I've, by experience now, I'm coming to do this, because otherwise you can have the full knockout will be, oh, I'm finished and this is over.
Yeah.
That's the full knockout as I understood. Yeah,
That's right. That's
yeah,
right.
I understood. I don't know. Maybe I didn't understand rightly, but this is how I.
No, this is good. Every time we slip, we just get up, we don't do any postmortems, we just return our heart to God and say, I'm here again, I'm offering my love, my life to you.
Yeah,
And we stay like that till the next fall comes, and then we get
yeah,
up again. And it can seem to the mind, it can seem like a very oppressive process, but actually it's a very beautiful process, because every time we get up in His light, in His love and His strength, we are deepening in our heart, we are deepening, we are purifying our insides, we are helping that holy temple in our heart to grow. So it's not an oppressive process at all. It's a very beautiful process.
yeah. And your presence, Father, it's everyone feels it. I know you are this humble. You don't want to hear it, but your presence is triggers this love of God. It shines out of you, and it's a big support. And when I listened to you the other day, it was lifted off, and then I went out and joked with my mother. I said, it happened okay, all is good. Denmark, this had to happen. The way lifted, and there was peace in the heart about that. And, and there's still those grieving moments are there. And India, I don't have to tell you about this infrastructure here. It's a God-driven land, and yeah, I don't want to go into that lane of, because here is, yeah, it's yeah.
Yes, like if you go to any lane in Bangalore, you are stuck.
Yeah. And here, and Rishikesh, Father, Ganga is holy, and they are throwing bottles and trashing it with full on, with not a sense of guilt there. And I don't know, it hurts, but who am I to judge? What I do is I don't throw, that's what I care. And I don't throw the bottles out of the car. I don't trash this land. That's I'm playing my part. And if someone gets inspired, to not to do this, they can do it. But, yeah.
That's all we can do. That's all we
I'm
can do.
I'm just playing my part. What I've learned through these years living in the West, these things. So I just thank you again and again, Father, for being here and listening and giving your attention. And this grief, I'm praying for myself and this grief I might come out of the grieving of it's a system. It probably and yeah.
Know that even grief, as deep as may be, is not infinite in nature. So it's not uncommon when we start taking God's name for some of these things which have been pent up inside us to get released. And know that if it is coming in your view, rather than taking the perspective that it is grief is coming, just take the perspective that grief is leaving. It's leaving you.
It's come
So
out. Yeah.
just
Yeah.
that change of that framing sometimes is very helpful.
Yeah, thank you, yeah, for reminding me that it's come out to, as Papa, you would sometimes say that these were all down there, but you didn't know about them. Now they have come here and shown their faces.
Exactly.
And I tell you, my experience, Father, it's every time you taste that beauty, I'm now almost sure that, my God, there are some stuff which is the whatever, don't want to call them monsters, but the thumbs, it's gonna come out. The Maya is gonna bring out everything which is there to show. And then you almost like, I don't want this, I want that, but no, it's here. So probably this is, yeah, your perspective that it's come out to you to show and to say by
Yes, very good, very
yeah. Yeah, thank
Just
you,
have
Ananta.
Bhaiji also used to say that he has infinite faith in God's grace, God's mercy in his life. So just take those words also to heart and have infinite faith in God's kripa on your life. We
Thank
cannot
you.
immediately come to that level of faith as these great sages, but their words, their pointers inspire us to move in that direction.
Yeah,
So I want to offer that to you as well. This
thank you, Father, for
उनकी
your
कृपा
attention.
में विश्वास रखो.
Yeah, yeah, यही है सब. वो एक अनंत वो जो बैठा है सब वो जो
Very good.
हम अनाम निरंकार whatever you want to call it.
Very good. Very good.
At your feet, Father. At your
Bless
feet.
you. Okay, let's go to Radheshyam ji.
राम राम फादर।
Ram Ram, Ram Ram, India.
फादर मैं जहाँ बैठा हूँ थोड़ा अंधेरा है यहाँ पर।
नहीं नहीं कोई बात नहीं कोई. सब आप अच्छा जा रहे हैं और आपको भी मैं बस यही बोलूँगा जैसे भाई जी ने बोला है कि उनकी कृपा में असीम विश्वास रखेंगे हम लोग और उसी से सब काम हो जाएगा. आप नाम तो ले रहे हो इतनी अच्छी तरह, बहुत बहुत अच्छा लगा आपका सुन के रिपोर्ट. तो बस अपनी नाम जब कंटिन्यू रखिए और उनकी कृपा में असीम विश्वास रखिए.
जी फादर, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
All right, let's go to Samia.
Hi, Father. Can
Hello,
you hear me
hello.
well?
Yes, my child, I can.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know why this is happening with me, Father. I feel just so, my heartbeat gets so fast.
Don't worry.
First, when I came in from, but it always happens with me also before speaking with people. So maybe at least this much, it's good to bring this to you.
Very good. Very good.
Because the other day it was a big issue for me, but not recently, thankfully, last year. But yeah, recently I found myself by speaking with someone, just my hand started to shake like uncontrollably. So
Yes.
I have this kind of issue in my body. As I said last year, it was not loud, I could handle, but it again came up. And I realized that each time I came to, it also happened. So yeah, something's happening. I don't know why I fear related with fear. I don't know what exactly is it, but um yeah. Actually I would bring something else, but also this is what I see recently in my body, you know, with talking with people, many things like um many things, Father,
Yes.
like hiding myself because it feels so much for my body. All the feelings feel so much if I'm confronted, if I'm not understood. Especially, I tell this probably before, but I started to hide even my name, Samia, because I feel like people are not so acceptable about the topic of guru, you know, like in Islamic things and etc. So I started to hide even this, but it doesn't feel comfortable because I'm continuously hiding myself about everything,
Yes.
and it doesn't feel
Did
good.
you
But
read uh, your Sangha brother Mazhar had put a post today about him
no, I
participating in
didn't read. I saw
have a
and
look at that.
everyone
It's very
said
good.
something, but yeah, then I will read it. But yeah, I don't feel comfortable and always hiding. And sometimes I try to not hide, and then it also doesn't work. Like so much, this kind of energy from other people, again, it is too much for my body. So I still couldn't find my way, but at the same time, I understand like it's the what is spiritual path, you know, it's not everything will flow, but we'll find our way and experience, and it will change also. So there's also, yeah, understanding and acceptance, but hiding is not good. But yeah, what to do for now, at least.
I pray for this. I pray for it to become lighter, for it to become easier. I realize it's so different culturally that people can misunderstand. They can misunderstand the fact that when we remember God, we are remembering Allah. Just a difference in name doesn't make a difference in reality. So, all holy names belong to the same one. And I pray that in this world we have more peace and understanding with each other. Although in today's world it's so divisive on the basis of every excuse, but my little prayer to God is to bless us with more compassion for each other and more openness with each other.
Yeah, and it's not just also this, you know, some people on this path also very understanding, but also sometimes because my path is not similar to many others, like some people are just dedicated to one guru and goes with that, but I'm going everywhere. I don't know why, and I'm just enjoying a lot. I feel like it's such a blessing from God for me, Father, because I'm always with God. I just realized that recently. I cannot do without going this meeting because I cannot do without that vibration, which is for me God. And yeah, I feel I take it as a blessing as well too. Um, one thing, actually, I didn't plan to share this, but what I wanted to share is that
You know, we have that Zoom package which includes truth serum in it.
what?
Our Zoom package comes with the optional add-on facility, which means that there's something called truth serum, which means that anyone who
Truth?
comes serum, which means that anyone who comes on the hot seat just has to just completely share their truth.
Hmm.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Because you said that I'm going to share something which I didn't know I'm going to share. That happens
Oh,
often. This is what I'm making.
okay.
Forget it.
I'm
It's a
sorry
bad
that
joke.
I didn't get you. I'm sorry, Father. Yeah, and yeah, what I intend to share, it doesn't come to my mind now.
I've spoiled the truth serum.
Yeah. Uh, because it feels so stupid, Father. It feels just so stupid. Um, I'm crying over it again and again during the satsang also. I just cried and threw a tantrum to you in the first part of satsang. And then I realized that it's just so stupid and it just vanished. But it's not just for this satsang, always in my life. It happened. So maybe that's why it's good to bring to you. It feels so stupid and the words doesn't come now. It's so shameful even.
Nothing is
uh,
shameful.
hmm?
Nothing is shameful, don't worry. It's all part of the human condition, whatever it is.
Yes, it is, Father. You know, Father, I just want to be something and I don't know what is that. And I want to be everything as well. It's also social media effect, but I had this condition before also social media. And this urge to become something, be with like some kind of people, be in such a way. I just amazingly want this desire just so alive here, but there is no power to do this. And I'm so happy with my life. I have to say that I'm just God granted me such a peaceful, such amazing life. Yet this desire makes me cry and throw a tantrum on always here. So at least I need to bring this to you. And then I blame you, blame my pet. It doesn't give me anything. And also, there is one thing about this, which also Satyam used the word grief. I don't know, there is a grief for life that I want and I didn't have. There's a kind of grief as well. And one more thing that, yeah, I feel sad. It doesn't feel anything right now, but they just play so hard, Father. Not now, but before I come, I said I cry. I throw an incredible tantrum within myself, and again. But now it feels so empty. But I'm sure that they will attack and so strongly attack. I don't know what is the way out from this. I don't know.
For some children in Bangalore, we made a rule that no more doom scrolling.
Doom scrolling, what is this?
Doom scrolling is when you sit on social media and before you know it, 2 hours have gone watching reels and shorts, and
Yeah.
so if you feel like that is. One more thing I want to tell you, and you probably know this already, is, and I'm saying this as a worldly father to you, which is that you go to Instagram to see 90% lies about people's lives.
I see that.
To see 90% lies about people's lives.
Lies.
So what is presented on imagery in social media is not authentic to people's lives. And the report that you made, that I have a peaceful life, I am able to go to holy places and enjoy the vibration of God. How many
And
of those
amazing
people?
people.
Amazing people, yes.
Amazing people means, Father, like people, not, I don't want to say like you, but at the same time, like elder
Yes,
spiritual beings are my friends. Just few of them, but I'm just
yes,
hanging out with them. It's such a blessing, you know?
yes. So how many of those who are putting up fancy things on Instagram can have a similar report about their closeness with God?
Yet, um, the people that I saw on Instagram or I feel inspirational, they are also spiritual, Father, and
Yeah.
just they have guru, etc. And they are at the same time, this is what catches me. They are not just spiritual, they are spiritual, like very, very good ones, okay? Not new age type, really. But at the same time, they still do their PhD, they have works and they are active. It just makes me crazy because I'm not able to do any of this. And
If you were to
this
do
is
a
what
PhD,
catches
what
me.
would be the topic?
No, just allow me a second for my
Yeah.
emotions.
Yes, yes. Fine.
Ah, Father, I want to say something about this. Um, maybe, you know, sorry.
Do you want Dr. Samia?
No, just a
No.
second. Okay. So maybe my mother is not allowed to study because she was a girl, okay? And it was a big issue for my mother. So I feel like maybe in some way I'm just carrying that pain within me because it was my own decision, but I didn't continue my study and I could not be anything, okay? So this is such a pain that I cannot even tell you. I don't know, maybe it's coming
I want
from that.
to
I don't know, but it's the pain.
I
Yeah,
wanted to
tell.
say one thing about this, which is that I will protest your definition of yourself that I could not be anything, because all children of God are supremely valuable to me. So I don't feel like anyone should consider themselves lower because they are on a path which seems to have mostly God and experiences of God and not so many other things. That is a social construct which I have to go through on a daily basis, that this man who had so much potential has wasted his life, is a nobody now. So please don't accept that construct about yourself. You are not anything. It is not true. And
It's our cultural thing as well,
it's the
Father, like
same
how
here.
things in Turkey, not
Same
maybe in
here.
Europe, but in Turkey, yeah, they expect you
Similar,
to.
similar. But you want Dr. Samia? What would your PhD topic be?
I don't care.
As long as it's a PhD. Yeah?
I think it's not my way of understanding God
Exactly,
because
exactly.
their PhD is just their way to understand and share God, and this is what they do
Yeah.
on their stuff. But I don't feel like it's my way to God. This kind of way.
So by the power vested in me through all PhD authorities in the universe, I hereby knight you as Samia PhD.
Huh?
Who can repeat that?
So it just
By the powers vested in me, through all the PhD authorities in the universe, not just this world, in the universe, I hereby knight you as Samia PhD. Feel free to
sorry,
use it.
my English is
Huh?
not enough to
Not
understand
enough?
this. No, I will check it later.
See the recording in my chat.
Yeah, but I don't know. Still, may God gives me something to play, please.
We had that prayer.
I
It will come.
prayed.
Yes, yes.
I prayed that before, but yeah, I don't know what is that, but I I would love to
Unfortunately,
play with something. Hmm?
yeah, we made this prayer last week.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, God doesn't operate on our timeline, but it will happen.
Okay. One more thing, Father, just a small thing. Um, I don't know. Yeah, just sorry, I could not progress because recent. Oh no, there. Sorry, I'm just realizing some stuff. Father, ah, um, I don't know why I cannot share. I don't know what's happening.
Don't worry. You can always bring it on Friday. You can always get it on Friday.
Yeah, I want to share. Father, okay, I want to share. Um, okay, so I took a responsibility of seva for someone else, okay? Some guru or something. And then I didn't do this. It's also kind of my bad habit that I give promises so freely and then I don't do this. And it's maybe Advaita excuses like, if I meant to do, I will do anyway, maybe laziness. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, I have this bad habit and I did not finish that seva, okay? But then that feelings also came like I did something so bad and I don't know, as if like I will be punished by this and this kind of feeling, because on this path I observe such a thing. I never feel this with you. That's why I'm just so grateful to you that everything is just so light with you. And I'm not blaming that guru, but maybe shadow side in this sangha, okay? This kind of punishment and all of this. And I don't want this. It's just so, oh my God, you just save us from this. And I'm so grateful for that, Father. Everything is just so light with you. Anyway, but because it was about like related with that sangha, I felt like maybe I'm punished because nothing is just flowing in my life. And if there's something like this, I just want you to bless it and may everything flows. I'm sorry for my mistake that I did not keep my promise, but I couldn't. So that's it. Yeah.
There is no such punishment. Our seva is only meant for our own deepening, for our own living in God's light, to deepen us in that way. And if because of whatever circumstances you were not able to undertake the seva and you are apologizing for not being able to do it, then there's no such uh, repercussion or worry that you have to worry about. And I pray that
Yeah, this is what my God
goes
is
smoothly.
also. Thanks to you. Yeah. Thank you, Father. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to speak with you again. Thank you.
Do we have satsang on Friday? We don't have satsang on Friday because I'm traveling to Ayodhya, to Lucknow, to the north of India. So this Friday we will not have satsang. I'll see you all on next Monday. Love you.